guess right here. Why did you choose Alton, Mark?
This is actually where my wife grew up, right across the road. Her and her family were dairy farmers for a couple of generations. And it was just time to come home after many years of traveling and working in hotels, and this was our final spot. We were interested in growing hops and getting in the craft beer industry.
And what drew you to that industry, hops specifically?
Hotels to hops?
Hotels to hops. Well, being in hotels, mainly in food and beverage for many years, so I was always up on the craft beer scene, local, supplying local. And at the time, there was the boom of craft beer industry, and so we saw that there was actually a shortage of hops because the amount of breweries that were opening up at a rapid pace, the hop industry hadn't caught up yet.
So this is the hop yard.
Yes.
I've never seen the way they grow before.
Yeah, it's all in trellis system. Telephone poles are about 20 feet tall. The hops will grow between 18 and 20 feet every year. They're a perennial, so they do come back every year. And I'll show you some cones. This is our Cascade variety. And the hops is what gives beer the bitterness and the flavoring that you taste. So if you break that open inside, and you'll see the yellow. That bright yellow in there. That's called lupulin, and that's an essential oil. And what that does, that will gives beer the bitterness, so like a tannin that helps preserve the beer, and then also the flavoring. So when they're making in the beer process, if you want a bitter beer, stronger beer, you put it in the beginning of the boil, and if you want something that's more floral and kind of a punch in the face on that aftertaste and that smell, then it's put generally in the end of the boil, and that gives it all the citrus notes and everything. Okay. So what you're gonna do is just gonna give that a little smell.
Oh, I've been hooting it already.
And then just put it in your hand, rub that, and then.
Why hops? Why did you decide to do a hops farm?
Well, between hop and weeds, because we got lots of weeds too, but hops is just, I've had a passion for craft beer, and I really wanted to learn right from the beginning stages of what gives the beer the flavor, the bitterness, the characteristics. And in beer, there's 4 ingredients. There's water, there's barley, there's hops and yeast. And when we can grow one of those main ingredients, and then it's exciting when we pick these at the end of August, and then they're going into a local brewer, and it's just when you have that beer with your hops in it, you just become so proud of it, and it's nice to tell your friends, but at the end of the day, it's nice to have a good cold local beer.
So what's involved with harvesting the hops?
Harvesting, we're generally the same time every year. What you really want to see in some varieties mature a little bit faster than the others, but when you're doing this, these guys will, they're almost like tissue paper, so when they're bouncing back. And that moisture content is about 30%, so we know exactly, but we usually harvest the end of August into the first week of September every year. When we pick it, they're usually about at 32% moisture content, and we have to drop that moisture content down to about 8 to 10. Okay. And so we have a drying system in our shop. We pick them, we dry them, then we grind them up, pelletize them, and that's a preferred method for the brewers. So there's less mess. So if you're putting whole cone in your beer, it makes the beer vessels very messy and cumbersome.
I can see that,
so so when you do the pellets, they dissolve, so less process for them or less cleaning.
I bet you're excited to see the whole process of how it goes from here to pellet.
Yeah, I've never really thought about it before, and now I'm very curious.
He's a big machine guy, so I think this will be fun. So this is where the magic happens.
Yes, welcome to the hop shop.
It actually looks a lot like a clubhouse.
It is. It's my clubhouse.
I love
my man
that.
cave. A lot of stuff over the years of traveling and friends dropping things off, and it's just it's a great place to be. When we're harvesting, it's really only used for about 10 days out of the year. So, we use it all winter. We have heat in here. We use it every day for happy hour at 5 o'clock. Christina and I meet every day after work and come over, have a cocktail, and then she'll go home and I continue working for a couple of hours.
Amazing. So how does the process work? How does it go from the hop cone in the field to these are the pellets, I assume?
Yeah, these are the pellets here. So when we do bring them in from the harvester, we dump in this our dryer. And it's got a middle shelf in it, and then we blow hot air with our furnace through it with a dehumidifier, and we drop those hops from about 30% moisture content down to about 8 to 10. After that, we cool them down. We put them in our chopper into the silo, and that just breaks them all up. After that, we feed them through our pelletizer, and from the pelletizer, that's when you come out and they have the pellets.
Wow, I was going to ask you to pick up one.
Yeah.
You just went for it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they're really just
So when the brewers put that right into the beer, they dissolve. So there's no mess in the brew kettles.
Do people ever ask you to grow a specific variety of hop?
Well, we did some research at the beginning, and you know, there's not as many breweries back then that there is now. And the varieties that we have grow well in the conditions that we have in Nova Scotia.
So these are the different local breweries that you work with?
Yeah, some of them are just some that we, I'm a sticker guy, you know, it's, you know, from traveling around, but, you know, from Tadamagush, we've done stuff with Sober Island, Schoolhouse, definitely, Hilltop Hops, our Cascade go into No Boats on Sunday, the cider. Yeah.
And Coldstream is just down the road from you guys.
Yeah, they're actually going to be celebrating their 8th anniversary in a couple of weeks. We've been an early partner with them. Some of the cable that's out in the hop yard was actually given to us by them a few years ago when we were establishing it, and they're still working out of their garage. Just a great family, great business. They continue to expand now to other provinces, and they started to do beer this year. They have the Coldstream Lager, which we've been a part of.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I guess we'll have to stop there on our way out.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Check out how this product goes from this into delicious beers.
That's right.
Tyson wanted to go to the canning factory, so we're going to try some drinks.
And I can't wait because I love Coldstream. It's one of my favorite beverages to try, and I'm really interested to hear in their story because I really don't know much about that other than it's a family-owned business. So yeah, that part's exciting for me.
I haven't tried much of their product. I've had like the peach iced tea, and I know they make other stuff, but I'm curious to see what else they do and how it all started.
Yeah, I love their vodka. It's one of my favorite vodkas, and I was never a vodka person, but somebody else told me about it, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And I stopped in on my way home from work one day, and I picked up some vodka, and it's awesome in the Moscow Mules. Like, just, perfect.
So you've been in the flagship store, but you haven't been in the tasting room.
That's right.
We are so excited to be here, Olivia.
I have been waiting for this all day.
It's true. We are big fans of your product, and it's amazing to look at what you've got here and think of, was it just the 2 drinks you originally started with? It was the cranberry and I feel like a lemon lime or something?
We actually had the spirits first, so like the vodka, and the rum and a couple of liqueurs. That's what we started with, and now we have beer
So
and
much
coolers
more.
and everything you can think of, pretty much.
So how did it come to be? Like it's a family thing for you guys, right?
Yeah, so it was my older brother's idea to start Coldstream. He was in his last year of chemical engineering, and he thought, why not give this a try? He knew the process of distilling. And then we started really small as a hobby business on my parents' property out in Coldstream. That's where the name came from.
Interesting. I was going to ask you that because we passed a sign on the way here that said Coldstream, and I was like, well, it has to be related.
Yeah, so my dad and the neighbor were kind of making some moonshine, trying to learn how to run the still, and on the jars they would put Coldstream Clear, and we stuck with that name because it had a nice ring to it, and it was where we were from, so it had a lot of meaning to us. So once we started making the ready-to-drink products, like the lime bug soda was our first one, that was really the changing point in Coldstream's lifetime. and people really wanted the no sugar, low sugar convenience of the canned drinks. And we just really focused on making good quality, tasty products that people can enjoy at any occasion.
So Kelly and Alicia are interested in the final product, but I wanted to come here and see how the hops go to that final product. Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. My wife and sister-in-law are gone to the tap room, and I wanted to come by and check out how the product actually gets to the tap room.
Right on. Well, there's lots to see, so we'll show you around.
Sounds good.
I'll just get you to throw on a vest here.
Sure, no problem.
So everybody knows you're a visitor.
Safety first. This is a very impressive room, but I'm pretty confused as to what's going on here. So what can you tell me?
I mean, yeah, so this is our brewery, just built this year.
So really it's a several-week process to go start to finish.
Yeah, beer, by the time it's all said and done, it's probably about a month.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah.
Totally worth it. Time well spent.
This is not what you would have imagined doing when you were growing up in Coldstream, I guess. So how do you feel about that now?
Yeah, it's really cool to look back and how it all evolved. Yeah, didn't think that I would be working and having a business in the place that I grew up, which is awesome. And working alongside all of my family, which is really cool. We all do different things and we get along and it's all good. We even hang out on the weekends. So it's, yeah, it's a true family business and we've all gotten on board and it's been really good. I think we were like normal kids, always bickering back and forth, but now we all work really well together and we all own kind of different areas of the business, so that helps.
So how many cans are you guys pushing out every month?
We're making about 1 million cans a month.
1 million.
Yeah.
Now I see why the vats are so enormous.
Yeah, we push a lot through here.
It's a huge facility. You guys must have a decent amount of employees then.
Yeah, we're just under 100 employees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good size for sure.
Process starts, empty cans are put onto the depalletizer. There's 8,169 cans on a pallet, and they're pushed off layer by layer onto the canning line. From there, they're single filed. They go down a gravity rinser, and then into our filler and steamer, which produces 200 cans a minute. From there, they're all checked for fill level via an X-ray fill level detection. Anything that may not have a lid or that is under our allowable tolerance for fill level is kicked off. Then they go through our pasteurizer and get warmed up. Kills any potential bacteria. From there, it goes down, it gets a 6-pack put on, depending on what pack we're running, and then put straight into a box and palletized.
So what do we got going on here?
So these are rum aging barrels. These are all full, and depending on which barrel you're looking at, it might be aging for a different amount of time. I see this one here. The fill date was December 12th, 2018, so I suspect that this is going to be packaged into our 5-year rum.
Okay.
Coming up shortly before Christmas.
We've wanted to do beer for a few years, and it's a whole different ball game getting into making beer and having a brewery. And yeah, it's been a big project, but we're really excited to have beer. We drink beer ourselves, so we're like, why not? Let's try to make a good tasting beer that we would like and share it with our friends. And here we are.
I feel like this has all spawned out of, this is something we like, let's make it for us, and then, okay, well, let's just share it with the people.
Yeah, pretty much how it goes, and we really appreciate good tasting products, and we're very particular about that, and yeah, our customers give us lots of feedback, which is great.
I love it. Is it hard to come up with the flavors when you're deciding, like between the cranberry, the lime, the peach, the lemonade is really popular?
Yeah, we try so many different versions when we're coming up with a new recipe. It can be upwards of 200 different variations that we try before we're happy with the flavor itself. So it's a long process, but it's one that's we focus really hard on that area to make sure that we're happy with the product at the end.
You guys have way more going on than I thought you did.
Yeah, we're into a lot of different
Wearing a
stuff.
lot of hats.
Yeah, there's lots of different products we make and kind of tailor them all to what people are looking for.
Well, you try it. It's delightful.
This is so much more fun with you than Tyson.
I know. That's how I roll.
Wonder if the girls tried any of this.
You'll have to ask them.
I wonder how Tyson's making out at the factory.
I don't know, but somebody's gonna have to drive us home. Maybe I'll call Brendan to come get me. Uh-oh.
Aerosag.
Where?
Aerosag? Aerosag, is there another way to say it?
Never heard of such a place.
No. I like how the Gaelic pronunciation is the same as the English pronunciation on the sign. Like when you see the ones that have the English and then the Gaelic underneath, and it's the same.
Convenient.
Oh, you must be Thomas.
I am. Welcome to Standard Distillery.
Thank you.
Thank
How are
you
you
for
doing?
having us. Wonderful. This is an interesting area. I've never been out here before.
A lot of people haven't.
It's quite small,
Yep.
but beautiful.
Here's God's country.
No kidding. What brought you to this area specifically?
Joyce, in an accident, we went swimming down to the beach and I seen this place for sale in 2000 and, well, I'm still here.
Well, we're really excited to take a look at your facility here. It looks like you have a lot going on.
A little bit. I'm living here since 2000. Distillery will have their 10-year anniversary next year. And everybody told me you can't do that in the country, you're crazy. Well, they're kind of right, but,
But you're proving them wrong
Just a
either
little
way.
bit.
but
Crazy
you
goes a
build
long
it,
way.
they will come, right?
That's right. So, what is it all?
Well, over here we have our main still where we make a 95% alcohol. What's a base for everything. The little still next to it is a gin still. You can't see it from here. Then there's a beer machine where we brew our beer.
Okay.
Al is just bottling blueberry gin. Everything is very hands-on. Since I don't like things, computers and machines, and you know, you need a little bit, but
The handmade product makes a big difference.
yeah, and it creates jobs here, right?
How many people do you have working in the
In
facility?
summer, it's around 16. In winter, we're down to 5, 6 plus the market people.
Oh, yeah.
So how did you get started into distilling?
Originally, well, Saturday afternoons, my buddies were playing soccer and doing stuff. I had to help my grandpa at the farm. Part of the farm work there was distilling. That was in Germany. Like my grandfather had a license, he could distill X amount of stuff. At the time I hated it, but now I'm actually glad that I paid attention.
Yeah, for sure.
I like playing around with flavors. Like the maple vodka was one of the first untraditional things we made. Like I don't want to make anything traditional besides the gin, what I'm very proud of. But you know, maple syrup, it's a lot of maple products you buy, they have everything in it but maple. We don't use flavors. Ask Al, he's cursing and swearing when he has to shovel the fruit and stuff.
And I love the packages that you guys are offering. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
The hands-on distilling you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, you basically book the cottage for the whole weekend, you and some friends, and you get a little small 2-liter still, and you make your own gin. We give you about 50 different spices, botanicals. We give you the ballpark, what should go in, and then you put in what you really like. And sometimes the outcome is fantastic, sometimes not so good, but it's normally if people, you know, you tell them don't put too much star anise in there, since you end up with a nose or something, not a gin. But most of the time, people make something fantastic and they take it home, have the bragging rights.
That's
Well, absolutely.
fantastic.
It's such a cool hands-on experience and a great memory.
It's an all inclusive. You get all your food, open bar.
Wow. Why is it important for you to have this here and bringing people to a place like Aerosag?
Because here's like it's God's country. Like it's just beautiful here. I fell in love with the place, and It's nice to have people here enjoying it with me, us.
You don't want to like keep it as a secret to yourself. You're like, come on, check this out.
No, anything good you have to share.
Life is better shared.
I like that
Yeah.
philosophy. Who do we have here?
This is my wife, Jessica.
Hi, nice to meet you. So were you a gin drinker before you met Thomas?
I was. I remember announcing to my family, I'm a gin drinker. And my sister said, have you tried this rhubarb gin yet?
Oh. And that was yours?
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Match made in heaven.
Match made in heaven.
So once you distill down here, what's the next process through the factory here?
When it's done, we're gonna put it. We put it in the totes and bottle it as we're ready. Like in winter, we quite often stockpile. Since there's not many visitors, and we can do a lot more than when there's visitors here, and then we blend and we bottle. Blending basically, if we make plain vodka, basically we put water in it till we have drinking strength. We put it in a bottle, put a cork on it, shrink cap, put it in the warehouse, and ship it to anywhere you want.
Awesome. I'd love to see the barrels and hear about how that works.
Well,
Can we have a look at those?
we'll have to go in the barn where the barrels are for aging. So basically, you put your pure raw spirit in there and you let it sit for years and years and years.
Oh, wow.
And then something happens in there, like it takes flavors from the wood, there's a little bit of oxygen going through, you have to top them up every year, you have your angel share, like there's stuff missing every year. And I know nobody's sucking it out with a little hose. But, well, let's go there and check it out.
Awesome. So you commission your own barrels?
Yes, I have them from Spain. They use red wine barrels. They're taken apart, redone, reburned, and then we put our rum in.
So is it like wine where like they age, it's going to taste different at 5 years versus 10 years? Does it ever
Yes.
go longer than 10?
Yes, you can do 15, 20. Of course, the longer you age it, the more it will cost. Since it's not just sitting there, you have to top them up every year.
So this is going to be a part of your event venue as well?
Yes, we'll have the weddings upstairs, a big wide open space. Down here there will be one big long banquet table, or maybe even just book it for the banquet down here.
Interesting. So you've really got lots of long-term plans
Oh
going.
yeah, oh yes. Like I want this to be an event place, you know, where people meet and gather, have a good time.
It's definitely worth checking out. Thank you guys so much for sharing the property with
thank
us.
you.
It was amazing to see, and
It was lovely to meet you.
we're going to have to sign the
Pleasure
guest
to
book
meet you
before we
guys.
hit the road.
And stock up on some product, obviously.
Perfect.
All right.
How much can your trailer hold?
Thank you. Do you see space?
Well, you'll have to leave your mark somewhere, but it's pretty crowded.
A space that we can reach?
What about right under here?
Oh, like right down here.
Oh, you found one? There you go.
Do you want to sign it too, or do you want me to do it?
You can sign for me.
Leave it or mark. Perfect. Thank you. Afraid of the camera?
Yes, I don't like it.
Why? You know you're going to be on camera all day today. Remember when I told you I have glasses for reading in the car now?
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is a real product.
What is it?
They're called motion sickness glasses.
And do they work?
I haven't had a chance to try them yet because the one time we drove more than an hour, I was not in the mood to read.